but we're talking about copyright. Copyright really has much more day-to-day applications in the educational environment. What is a copyright? What can be copyrighted? Well, anything created that can be put in a fixed form can be copyrighted. Here's the actual language of the law. Original works of authorship fixed in any tangible medium. And that means something that you can read and fix in a machine that is invented now or maybe invented in the future. Any future method of fixing things that is putting in a tangible form that you can make then a copy of is what determines what a copyright is. So that's what it is. That means that when you do a lesson, if you put it on a piece of paper or design a website, is that copyrighted? Yes. If you've designed a website, that's been copyrighted by you. It's automatic now. So the creation of intellectual property in a fixed form is what a copyright is all about. And you've created intellectual property, you've created copyrightable material, probably every day if you're an educator. So what can a copyrighted work consist of? Well, all the stuff that you see in front of me. Words, numbers, notes, all that stuff can be put in a fixed form and therefore can be copyrighted. So that's just to say that nearly everything can be copyrighted. So you have to be careful. The Hollywood sign is copyrighted. There are images, architectural images that are copyrighted. Parts of Disneyland, for example, are copyrighted. Just the picture of them, the image of it is copyrighted, so you can't use it. The good thing about all of this for education is one area, education and the free press, the two areas, that you don't have to worry quite so much about having material fall into your classroom instruction. Remember, there's a reason for copyright, and it's to help education. So a lot of these little details and the craziness of what you're doing isn't important because you're at work and your job is education. So that's good to remember. Let's look at something else. You can't copyright ideas, just so you know, and you can't copyright titles, which is why sometimes you have two titles that are of very different things. So ideas are not copyrightable. So you may think, oh, I have this great idea, I'm going to copyright it, nobody else can do it. Not correct. Copyright, when you have a copyright, gives you under the law some exclusive rights. So when you see a work, a book, a movie that's been copyrighted, anything in fixed form, a sculpture, an image, a writing, a song, all those things, these are what the copyright holder has exclusive rights to control. One, reproduction, whether it gets copied or not. When videos appear on a site like YouTube, if they haven't been authorized, then you can bet that a letter will come to YouTube that says, please take that off, and that video will disappear. But again, that letter has to come because the copyright holder does have the exclusive right for reproduction. All right, also derivative works. If something is based on a work, it means that the copyright owner still has control of it. Many people think, oh, I'll just alter it a little bit, then it's my design, not their design. But that's not always the case because the copyright holder does control derivative works. Also distribution. Copyrights can determine how the copyright holder, whether material is distributed or not and how it's distributed. Also, copyright holders control the transfer of ownership, public performance, and public display. So these are what's covered under the law by copyright. These are important to know only because when you leave the educational environment, these things all come into play. Okay, more information about that on the website. Now, if information is, if all those things are copyrightable, then what's not copyrightable? Well, it turns out just about everything is. This was a fun case. In Britain, a man on his music CD put in silence. He put in silence as one of the cuts on the record, on the CD. Turned out someone else had already done that, an artist named John Cage, and had copyrighted silence. So this person, when they went to court, lost because silence on a record had already been copyrighted. So this person decided he was going to do a different version of silence, not a derivative version, a whole new version of silence, and put that in his project. And here it is. I bought it on iTunes. 1 minute of silence from Project Grudge. And the original work was, I think, more than 4 minutes. So the new artist said his work was superior because he was able to condense it down to a smaller size. Anyway, I actually went online, bought a minute of silence, which I now have on my iPod. So you can buy silence. So anything seems to be copyrightable as long as it's in a fixed format. Okay, so this is nothing, the visual equivalent of silence, and now KOC TV has copyrighted that. So there we go. let's look some more next at fair use, because all the things we've talked about for copyright have an exemption. There's limitations on those exclusive rights that you saw for education, and that's what we're going to talk about next. It's called fair use, Section 107 of the Copyright Act. We hope you'll stay tuned for that. Fair use, and thank you for watching.